I was spending some time in London, so I arranged to meet up with Peter Millard at the 10-Minute Workshop. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Peter's channel already, but if you're not, there'll be a link in the description box below. Peter needed to pop to his local timber yard first and asked if I wanted to see it, and of course I said yes, so that's where we started. This place is called AJ Ferguson, and we got to see the workshop area where they do all of the milling for customer orders, and there were some really nice machines like this vintage Wadkin planer. That's a panel saw on the left, and on the right an edge banding machine. This is a 520mm width capacity thicknesser, and here is a beast of a bandsaw with a 3-inch wide less than 1 TPI blade. And this is the dust extraction over here. And this thing is something called a beam saw, which is a huge CNC operated milling machine. They stocked a good range of sheet materials, softwood construction timber, and a basic supply of hardwoods like oak and Meranti too. The staff were really friendly and helpful, and the prices were surprisingly reasonable. And then it was over to Peter's workshop. So this is where the magic happens?
This is, well, it's kind of where the magic happens, yeah, it's
amazing. And you've still got the table saw?
Still got the table saw, it actually a bit broke off, so I'm going to scrap it or salvage the motor out of it or something. It's just a horrific, genuinely terrible thing.
Any ideas what you might use the motor for?
I quite fancy a big linear belt sander, but yeah, a little piece sort of broke off that, which that's what locks the slidey table in, so now it just won't lock, so it's like, so, yeah.
So do you think you might make a belt sander at some point?
I quite fancy the idea of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It has some appeal. I'm not sure where I'd put it, to be honest. I quite fancy having a bigger bandsaw here, to be honest.
I've forgotten the brand. Is this the Aldi one?
Yeah. You can just about squeeze a 1/2-inch blade in it.
Clearly been serving you well, though.
It's done brilliantly.
Yeah.
It really has. A little bit sort of low on capacity, but for most of the things I'm not going to resaw big planks or anything.
I love the lighting in here.
Really the lights are brilliant. These are really good, yeah. And they're switchable so that you can take the back two out if you need them.
Ah, nice.
And I've got my little
Oh.
LEDs here and behind the routers as well.
Very nice. So what are the dimensions of this space?
The whole area is about 19 feet, so just under 6 metres long and almost exactly the same wide, but of course we have this honking great wall in between, which is unfortunate. So it's about 300 square feet, 30 square metres, so it made sense to have this as the workshop space. And until the loose 10 and jig business or the square enough business took over, it was just sort of storage and stuff next door. So seen these here? These are the loose 10 and jig plus.
They look so slick.
Yeah, so just like the regular loose 10 and jig, but it does shelf pin holes as well. And a little bit bigger, so a little bit easier to use with slightly bigger routers. Got little clamping wings on it and a safe clamping zone.
They're so clean.
Yeah, does a lovely job. And they do seem to be doing very well, getting some very complimentary comments from people about them. Because it is, you know, to the best of my knowledge, the only jig that lets you put a narrow slot on the edge and a wider one on the face without moving a stop or changing the settings in any way. It is literally as simple as that and that, with little reference pins so that you no measuring or marking needed.
Yeah.
Just swap it around.
Back when you were doing more kind of commission work, was this your timber store?
This was timber store and drying room.
Yeah.
If I was painting or spraying in there, we'd come in here to dry.
Oh yeah. Do you still have your spray booth set up?
No, got rid of that when I decided to stop spraying, so I got rid.
Oh yeah.
And my grey coat is still in Essex, I think I lent it to my friend Paul Cunningham Custom Creations, and it failed spectacularly on him at the worst possible moment.
It failed twice on you, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Yeah, it's not a reliable thing, unfortunately.
You haven't got to deal with all of the mess of spraying anymore, which is nice.
It's quite a relief, to be honest. Yeah. I'm not sorry I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry I'm not doing the fitted furniture anymore either, to be honest, because that part of my life is just a lot of work. Getting too old for it, that's the trouble.
Cute little compressor.
Compressor,
So
that's
that's
a great job.
9 litre, is it?
Something like that, 8 or 9.
Is it alright if I fire up your Capex? I've always been curious as to how noisy they are.
It's okay. It's been a way to have it to be re-educated.
Yeah.
After there was a recall on them, or a voluntary return. Nobody's entirely sure what the issue was, but there was some kind of electrical fire, I believe, in one of them of a certain age. So they did a recall, and it took a while to get them all sorted. But it came back very nice. Although the blade seems to be jammed on, so I can't change it.
So this is hooked up to the Festool extractor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my original MIDI is under there.
So that's hooked up to the router.
And then I bought the newer Bluetooth enabled MIDI under there. You have no idea how incredibly convenient that is.
That is really
it's
good.
just absolutely fantastic.
It's on Bluetooth, does it?
Yeah.
I would quite like to get some of these ratchety style clamps. Are there any in particular?
The Festool ones are the classic. They are ruinously expensive.
What are we talking for a pair of those then?
A pair was about 80 quid when I bought those.
Wow.
If not more. These are Axminster trade clamps, which used to be about 20 odd quid, and the actual ratchet bit was a little bit more crude, so you didn't get quite as many clicks, you couldn't apply quite as much pressure. And then they fixed these and made the price almost as much as the Festool ones. And then these ones are the Banggood Drill Pro or whatever versions, which are very similar, more control on them, and have the plastic covering as well. They're not that cheap. Can't remember what they actually cost.
So how come you're not a fan of the parallel jaw clamps?
Parallel jaw clamps, I just don't they don't do anything for me. They're not parallel. They're not.
That is true, actually, yeah. Some are more parallel than others.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, these are pretty good. These are the Sadisha ones.
Good catch.
Practice. Yeah, that's not parallel, for God's sake.
I always thought that was a design feature because when it's clamped down, it pulls in, but I don't know.
If you've got a thing in there, it's not exerting the same pressure top and bottom. I don't know. I find them very big and heavy and kind of clunky, and I never need to exert the kind of pressure that they can apply.
So you favour the sash? They're not sash clamps, are they? They're bar clamps, I guess.
Bar clamps, F clamps. I mean, those sort of semi-sash clamps. I like these ones. Just dead simple.
I love F clamps.
Little F clamps.
Yeah.
Nothing special, nothing clever.
I've got a couple now where this bit on the back is starting to wear and they don't lock on the bar so well.
That's right.
But for the price I paid for them,
Exactly, and they last a long time. And I've got some of the Saddle Shop versions of those.
oh yeah,
And they are nice because they've got a deeper throat as well, which is good.
yeah. How do you feel about the squeeze clamps?
I love these. These are Bessie Duo clamps.
Right.
And I love them particularly because that's all it takes to turn from a clamp to a spreader. And I use that all the time.
So you don't have to turn the head around.
Yeah, that's right. So really quick and easy. And if you're putting cabinets in, you can just get it up to the right height.
Nice.
Screw it down, it's done.
Yeah.
And then, it's back on clamping duties normally. What does happen with these, even with these Bessies, is that after a while they just move up and down, they don't actually clamp properly.
Right.
Unless you're actually putting some pressure on them, which is a shame when they're so expensive.
Are these called squeeze clamps? That's what I call them. I don't know whether...
one-handed.
Yeah, the first ones I had of those, I just bought a really cheap pair, and I just found that they, I couldn't exert any pressure with them, and when I did, they broke basically. But recently, Pony Jorgensen sent me a couple of much better quality ones, and I've reached for them a couple of times already, but I still tend to just go straight for the F clamps.
Yeah, it's what you're comfortable with, isn't it? It's what you're used to. I do like them.
So is this like a cityscape type thing?
Your little silhouette.
Oh, nice.
Releasing my inner child.
I like it.
This is the latest little thing that I've got going on. This is a round hinge. to go on the NFT. Front rail support,
Yeah.
which actually does work very well, just in MDF. And I started playing with the hinge idea yesterday as well. I've got the bench dogs hinge here, which is very nice.
So that's the one that's fitted at the moment?
That's the one that's fitted at the minute, yeah. It's hard to believe until the bench dogs hinge came along. There were only 2 guide rail hinges that you could buy.
That is surprising.
It's just astounding, really.
Is this going to be an upcoming video?
Yeah, we'll have a video on this.
Yes.
And I'm much better at working things out by doing them than I am at drawing them out.
Same here. I'm about to tackle a table saw fence.
Oh, right.
It's the sort of thing that I think I might have to make a few times before I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at things that move and mechanical things.
Yeah, same. Same with that little hinge, you know, the just two little bits that move, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they've all got a line perfectly, and this moves as well. So that's 7, 8, and then 9, 10, and there's like so many little bits and pieces.
That tool over there to the left of the domino is the lamella.
That's the Zeta, yep. So that's your lamella.
Oh my god, this is a serious machine, isn't it? Wow. It's heavy, isn't it?
It is. It's a chunky, you know, hewn from the solid.
So it's 14 routers.
I think 14.
Track saws, 1, 2,
Track
3, 4,
saws.
5.
I've cut back. I think we're down to 10 or 11. Well, as I say, we've got my eye on a Maffel, just because, and a Bosch, obviously.
Yeah. So, if I were to ask you to pick one out of the Parkside, the Work Zone, the McAllister, and the Titan, which would it be?
Ooh, the only Work Zone is a variation on the Shepak, and they've made some very strange decisions on the base plate design. Doesn't sit happily with other rails. The Parkside is also a little bit compromised, and they've got a slightly wider base, so you can't use it on the Makita pattern rail. The McAllister and the Titan are almost identical.
Right.
I mean, they are literally separated by
I can see
3 or 4 years, and the Titan, I'd say, is probably better made. So my money still goes for the Titan or the McAllister.
What about the Triton, Makita, and Festal? I've got an inkling I know what you'll say.
The Triton's a big one, so it's more like the Urbauer. So it's got a 185 blade in it, and again that's almost identical to the Titan and the McAllister.
Right.
But it's got soft start and a slightly bigger motor.
Yeah.
Makita's nice. I haven't actually used that one much. I bought that second hand. I do find them a little bit crude.
Yeah.
I do find them a little bit chunky.
In terms of accuracy, or
no, just general weight and feel.
Yeah.
I think of the more, yes. I mean, I tend to reach for the Festool more often.
Yeah.
You know, I'm used to them. I'm comfortable with them.
So 20 years you've been here?
20 years, yeah. And only just getting around to setting up a proper set of shelves. And there we are. It's transmogrified, transformed from a jobbing little workshop to a YouTube studio workshop. And long may it continue. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
It's an absolute pleasure. Nice to see you.
So I'm back home from London now. Always a great pleasure to meet up with Peter, and he very kindly gave me one of his loose tenon jigs plus. So I look forward to trying this out in a future video. And Peter's going to be at Makers Central. I'll put the stand details on screen up here somewhere, and he's going to be joined by Carl Pope from Carl Pope Woodcraft and Stuart from the Proper DIY channel. All great channels, which I'll link to in the description box below. I do have an extended version of this video available to channel members on my Patreon and YouTube channel membership page. If you'd like to check that out, there'll be links in the description box below. Please subscribe for more videos. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can get early access to my videos, exclusive content, free project plans and cut lists, and a name credit at the end of my videos via Patreon and YouTube channel membership. Links down below. Thanks for watching.